How's it going, Charles Botenston? First of all, I just want to thank everyone that we reached 700 subscribers. The content is going to be getting better. I am crushing through books. I am crushing through content. I'm going out. I'm failing more, succeeding more. It's just, you really start to see the compound effect, which leads directly into today's video, which is being brutal with your friends. All right, so first I'll just start off on how I was for my livelihood, I should say. So for the first portions of my years, I would say from age 0 to about 12 or 11, I was a total badass. I was crushing multiple sports. I was probably in about 6 sports. I was winning championships. I was just a rock star kind of guy. Then I started straying and I started hanging out with kids that weren't the best people for society. I started going in and doing some bad things, and then my parents were like, we don't want him to go down the road less traveled, and pretty much put me on the path of morality, which means I went to a Catholic high school. I then went to church more. I became a nice guy. So the first part of my life, I was like this total rock star. Then I became this really nice guy, and then I went to college and became a total asshole. And I noticed that being nice doesn't do it. Being an asshole doesn't do it. There has to be something in between, and that's authenticity. So I discovered authenticity about being who you are right around age 24, 25. And then from age 25, I'm 30 right now, about to turn 31. So from 25 to 30, I've been compounding books, seminars, content on YouTube, just going out, trying all these things in society and seeing what works. And all my other friends that I grew up with haven't. So this is the biggest thing that you're going to notice. And it's going to happen. You're going to be looking up to someone, or you see someone that's above you socially or financially, or they're really cool and you respect them. They could be in like super sick shape, and you're like, I want to be that person. So then you look up to them. And then over time, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 5 years. You start looking at them and you start hanging out with them and you're like, wow, actually, they're just a normal human. And then you look up to someone else. And then you get to that level. And then you're like, oh, they're just a normal human. And you'll just start trading up. Just start trading up. Obviously, this is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Great book, Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. There's another one called The Slight Edge by Mike Olson. Both books essentially is you're compounding your knowledge, you're compounding who you are, you're compounding personal growth, self-development, reading, doing, trying, failing, succeeding. You're compounding, you're questioning, you're disciplining yourself. There's grit and hard work, and it's downtimes and upside. But what you'll notice along the way is that all those friends that you were friends with start trailing off. They start maybe, I have friends that they went into AA this year, Alcoholics Anonymous. I have other friends that financially, they're still in the same place that I was when I was 22, 23, which was, 8, 9 years ago. Dude, your personal wealth should be going like that with your age. Your self-development, your body, your energy should be going like that. The relationships you have with women or men, whatever you're into, should be going up. Your spouse, your parents, your friends, your business, your clients, everything should be growing. Everything should be expanding. Everything should be doing better. Tony Robbins says it. Progress is happiness. If you're not progressing in whatever area of life that you're focusing on, you're going to lose your confidence. When you lose your confidence, you start going down. And when you start going down, it's really, really, really hard to get your momentum back. I know I went through it this year where I lost my mojo or my momentum, whatever you want to call it, for about a month. And for a month, I was eating like crap. I wasn't going to the gym. I was unhappy. I wasn't making business calls. I wasn't even really going to work or taking appointments and things like that. I was just in a terrible place because I succeeded so much and then I just plateaued. But you don't plateau. There is no middle ground. You don't plateau. You just go like that. And then I was like, whoa. I caught myself and then I started coming up a little bit. The biggest thing is, when I say be brutal with your friends, you're going to be going generally on a path like this. Listen, it's going to go like this, but it's going to be going up. By the way, I was in a bike race and kind of got into a little accident, not a big deal. But I'm saying be brutal with your friends. Be brutal with your time. Be brutal with who you hang out with. Be brutal with saying yes to things. You know, I can't tell you only when you fill your time proactively with what you want to do will you actually get confident in your life. Because you're creating it. You're not just passively having friends come into your life, passively have people just say, hey, listen, let's do this, let's do that. Listen, I'm in real estate. I get calls and emails all the time. Hey, listen, my buddy's looking to get into real estate. Can you meet with him? Hey, listen, my cousin's getting into real estate. Do you mind if you talk to her? And it's like, I from now on, I say no. You know, I just give him a little advice over the phone. And it's not because I'm a mean guy. It's because it like back in the day, I'm like, oh, yeah. Make me busy. But now I'm like, no. You create your schedule. Jeff Bezos, the owner and founder of Amazon, he said he literally wants to get 45 extra seconds while brushing his teeth. That's how tightly packed his schedule is. 45 extra seconds when he's brushing his teeth. That's insane. That means he's creating his schedule and he's literally saying there's a 45 second gap where he wants to maximize so he can do something else. That's where you want to be at. Maybe not that crazy, but you want to be proactively making your schedule. So when I say be brutal with your friends, be brutal with the friends you hang out with, that you say yes to. Because to be honest, a lot of the friends that I grew up with, amazing people. They're just on a different path than I am. They're all married. I'm a single guy. They're working for someone. I'm not. I'm an entrepreneur. They're not really into self-development. I am. I love racing bikes. They don't. And listen, it's not like I'm like anything's wrong with that. It's just you just grow into something else than someone else that you want to hang out with. You grow into other people. The biggest thing is the people that you add into your life, the people that you actually spend time with, make sure that they're adding some kind of value. Whether that's knowledge, wittiness, fun, excitement, they're bringing friends around, they have a great social circle, they are bringing something where because there's times that I remember like getting emails from friends and they were like, hey, listen, let's go out and let's get wings and watch the hockey game. And I remember be like, yeah, let's do it. And then after a while, I think it was actually this year, I was like, I don't want to do that because I know what we're going to talk about. I know how it's going to go. I'm going to eat wings, which is not healthy. I'm going to drink beer. I'm going to be drunk. I'm going to spend money. And I know what we're going to talk about. Like, what value is that bringing to my life? And then the next day, I might be hungover, and then I'm sluggish because I had all this fried wings and just unhealthy crap at the bar, maybe fries. And it's like, dude, you have to be brutal with your friends. Be brutal with your time, and don't be apologetic about it. Just say, hey, listen, I am unable to. I don't have the free time. Do it. Otherwise, your life will be passively filled up with garbage. And the biggest thing that I really do wish, and I'm going to end it now because it's at 8:30, the time thing, but I really want you to get through your mind this one important concept. Whenever I'm afraid, or anytime I say, should I do something, should I not do something, and you're on the borderline, you're like, just know that we'll all be dead soon. And it sounds terrible, and you're like, what are you talking about, Charles? What does that have to do with anything? Listen, the worst thing that people said, the top five regrets of the dying, were that they didn't live a life that was true to themselves. They lived a life that was true to someone else. That true to someone else could be society, their friends, their parents, their spouse, their clients, their business, their boss, social media. Doesn't matter. They had regrets, not of what they did. They had regrets of what they didn't do. So when you have that I don't want to say no to my friend. I don't want to say no to my family member, or, for me, I'm very brutal. I have 90,000 nieces and nephews, and they invite me to thousands of birthday parties and communions and confirmations and baptisms and marriages. And oh my God, it's like every weekend there is something going on. I used to say yes to everything, and then after a while, I'm like, no, you got to be brutal with your time. So you just pick and choose which family events you go to, which ones are the most important. You don't have to go to them all. The biggest thing is be brutal with your friends. Be brutal with your time. Know that you're going to be dead soon. And that's the only motivator that I have right now that really says, listen, when I'm fearful, when I have a fear of what people are going to think, that's what I think. I'm like, you know what? We're all going to be dead soon. I'm just going to leave you with this. This is an absolutely crazy thing that I was listening to Tony Robbins, I think 2 days ago. Or no, it was whenever. I think it was 2 days ago. But he said we all have a fear of not being enough. We have a fear of not being enough, which in turn, and I'll make a whole video about this, which in turn is actually a fear of not being loved. And that's why we do everything. That's why we keep in a certain job. We have a fear of not being loved by our family because our family said they wanted us to be a doctor or a lawyer or to dance. I know Aaron is a dancer, or to be an athlete or whatever. You know, my mom always says you should be more spiritual. You know, it's like, how do you know I'm not already? You know, and listen, a lot of people have asked me about making a video about God. I know it's very controversial and everything else. Do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? You know, it's a very, that is a dicey area. But be brutal with your friends. Know that you will be loved regardless of the decisions that you make, and live every day like it's your last. And leave the comments below. I know I ended up on kind of a lower note, but just know that your friends will still like you. You're just trading up on the social circle, on the financial circle, on your health circle, on where you want to go, on your everything you want to do. All right, so leave the comments below. Have an awesome day. If you want to follow me socially, everything's below. Snapchat, I'm absolutely crushing, and Instagram, I'm doing amazing because I live in New York City, the greatest city in the world. Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.